Hi everyone, and welcome to another session in Joomla 3-Day. We're delighted to have you here. This morning already we've had a series of sessions on using Bootstrap with Joomla, on how to speed up your Joomla site, on the new version of K2, and throughout the day we're going to have more sessions on a wide variety of Joomla topics. This session is going to be talking about a new API with Joomla 3, which allows you to easily spin up sites, either for yourself, for your customers, for demos, for whatever reason that you may need to allow your customers to spin up sites. Ryan and Jonathan from Cloud Access are going to show you how you can do it. Ryan and Jonathan. Thank you guys for attending, and I'm going to hand over now to Ryan, who's going to take the lead in the presentation this morning.
Thank you very much for attending our presentation today. We are super happy to be here, and we want to thank Steve, Burge, of course, and Nick, and everyone at OS Training for putting on a great Joomla 3-Day. It's been fun to be a part of and see all the different types of presentations and be a part of sharing some information. We are going to give you an introduction to our Joomla Demo API today, and it's a sneak peek of this new component that's very, very powerful. And I do want to encourage all of you to find that GoToMeeting slide out question area, start posting those questions to us. Steve's going to help us moderate those questions towards the end of the presentation. You do see our contact information at the bottom of the screen here too, so if you'd like to follow up with us at any point, feel free to do so. I think Jonathan has an invitation for you in a little bit to follow up and maybe become a beta 2 tester for us. This component is just about ready to launch for everyone, and we're going to give you a sneak peek. First, I want to introduce myself. My name is Ryan Bernstein. My friends call me Bernie. I'm going to give you a very brief introduction to the component, but Jonathan Gaffel, who's our CEO at Cloud Access, he's going to do most of the demonstration today and probably answer most of your questions. So, Jonathan, are you there?
Yeah, how's everybody doing?
Cool. So, John, I'm just going to go ahead and do that introduction here, and then we'll pass it over to you. So, real quickly here, if you're unfamiliar with our platform, and we have a custom-built cloud control panel that you can use to deploy Joomla websites, and each of those websites is active for 30 days. It's a free 30-day demo trial. Jonathan's going to be showing off the CCP in just a minute, and it's really very feature-rich. And I encourage you to come back and check out the CCP if you like what you see. Tons of opportunities to help you not only deploy but manage your application and your domain names and your SSL certificates. It's really cool. It's really the center of our platform, really. Again, free 30-day demo trials, and kind of the thing that separates our platform from a lot of other hosting companies is our support. We provide an industry-leading level of support. You can call us directly or submit online tickets to get help with your site. And that's not just hosting support, but core Joomla support as well. We do take snapshots of your site every day, and if you break the site somehow, we've got a copy of it for you, and we can restore it at no additional charge. We also give you the tools to create and manage your own snapshots within the CCP. And of course, we offer domain names, and we have a worldwide DNS network. And sites hosted with us perform pretty fast. So let's jump right into the API, though. I'm going to give you just an overview of 4 easy steps that you can use to earn recurring monthly revenue for really any type of business model. And as Jonathan will explain, this component is for just about any type of site administrator or web developer or a template or extension developer. Step number 1 is you'll become an affiliate of cloudaccess.net, and you'll create a custom Joomla application. Now, you can also use this API for core Joomla applications if you'd like to enable your site visitors to launch those. Step 2 is you'll upload that application to the CCP, which Jonathan will show you in just a minute. And step 3 is that you'll download and install the demo API component. And once that's installed on your site, there's a number of configuration options, and people will be able to launch applications from your site. So it's a, you can have them launch Core Joomla 2.5, 3.3, and they can get those sites up and running. And we track these. Anyone who launches a demo from your site, we track all of those with your affiliate URL, which is unique to you, and you can earn recurring monthly revenue. So I'm going to go ahead and pass that presentation, or Steve, I think we'll pass that presentation over to John at this point, and he can give the demonstration.
Thanks, Bernie. First thing here, we've got, I'm going to pull up the Joomla 3-day site. This is the main site that we're going to be working with today. As some of you may have noticed, there is a module on the side that says Try Joomla 3.3. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to launch just a core Joomla site. It's pretty simple. This is pretty standard. You guys have seen this all on demo.joomla.org for a while, for many years, in fact. And we've basically broken that away from demo.joomla.org and made it so you can do this from any site. Now, that's pretty neat to be able to launch a core Joomla site, and in a lot of cases, it's useful. And then what we're going to do after that is I'm going to log into the back end of the site and show you guys launching just a custom sample data set. This could be a series of extensions that are configured to make the site a certain way. It could be just your site or a site that has your branding on it. Maybe you're a developer. I'll go through some of the case studies later on. Also go through and walk you through some of the configuration of it as well. Just make sure you understand how it works. Of course, we have knowledge base articles on this to show you, how to put it all together. It's actually really easy to set up and really easy. It's completely free to use as well. Bernie mentioned becoming an affiliate as part of the first step. It's just a click of a button. You don't need to sign up for anything extra or anything like that. It's pretty straightforward. So first thing, let's just go ahead and provision a site from the Joomla 3-day site. I'm going to pull out my trusty Mailinator and just spin up a quick email address. Test API. Okay. All right, so you have full control over what fields are showing up here. Right now we have it pretty basic. You've got the name, validations make it so you have to type in 2 names, Jonathan Tester, 1, 2, 3, and then you just pick a site name. We're going to go Core33 test, and email address. We'll put the, it looks like, there we go. Okay, and we'll go Core33 right there. And we have our terms of service. This is all customizable. Right now it actually it took my name out of there because it actually recognized this email address I've used before. So, so it recognizes that I already actually have an account with cloudaccess.net at this point. It's reaching out to our systems. And so what I'm going to do is launch the application. And we get a screen, again, fully customizable to your taste. So you can say, thank you for launching from my site. Essentially right now, what's happening is an email is being sent out to my Mailinator account here. Let me go ahead and refresh. And here, this is just a simple email validation. It actually helps us determine which account to put the site into. Of course, no site has actually been provisioned at this point. Now, this email is not formatted 100% properly right now. This is, again, still it's in beta testing. So if this is a customizable email, you can make it say whatever you want. Essentially, you click on the link, and just a status here saying, the site's being launched. We'd recommend that you try to keep these sites as streamlined as possible. The heavier the site, the longer it's going to take to provision. What it's doing actually is it's launching a core Joomla application. But if there was a sample data set, it actually injects the sample data set after the fact. So it's always launching the most recent version. So that just launched a site right there. And we'll go back and check my email. And the next email I get here is your Joomla demo login information. So Go ahead and check that out. Of course, we have a core Joomla application right here. Pretty nifty. So that's the basic functionality. Now, again, I'll go through the use cases later on and let you know exactly why you would want to be able to launch core Joomla applications from your site. It really depends on what sort of business model you have. But again, that's the basic functionality. So let's take it a step further here. We'll go back to the home page. Let's say, for example, I am a template developer, and I want to make it so people don't have to download my template and install it into their site, get the sample data set, or the quick start package or rocket launcher, whatever it may be. Make sure that it's super simple for them. They can just launch the site as is, fully provisioned, fully configured. And so we'll go through that workflow right now. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. Of course, if it's a paid template, we wouldn't want to be able to launch it from the front end of the site. We want to control, where this template can be launched from. So I'm going to go ahead and log in, and just using core Joomla ACL. Hopefully I can remember my password here to the site. Yeah, we're good to go. Okay. So I'm logged in, and I just have a separate menu item down here saying Launch Cloudbase. And now I have a separate module, and this is different than the one that we saw on the home page. Of course, you can create as many as you want, and you can select which sample data sets you want to launch from each module. So if you have, maybe you're an extension developer and you have 5 different products, you can make it so on each product page you just have this on the side and allow them to launch with the extension fully configured. So let's go ahead and I think I've got that still copied. Go back to inbox here. Okay. And we'll close out this core Joomla site here. Go to log. Okay, so name, test name, and we'll do this Cloudbase 2.5 because unfortunately our Cloudbase template, this version is only in 2.5. I know this is a 3.3, a Joomla 3-day presentation, but we have to launch a 2.5 site unfortunately in this case because I don't have the package up for 3.3. So we've got the name there. It will validate the name, and it says it's available. And email address, I'll put in my Mailinator email address. And today we're from the Bahamas. Now the reason I have to select the country right now is because it's looking up and it's seeing that I've never used this email address before. That's because I didn't use this Jonathan Test API at mailinator.com. Again, it would reach out and check to make sure there's an account before actually provisioning to know where to put the site. Okay, and again, because this template's only available in 2.5, that's the only options available here. And of course, we have to agree to the terms of service. Okay, and launch application. Now again, it's not launching right there. It just sends out a validation email, customizable page. We'll go ahead and check this inbox again. So I've got another email confirmation. And so by clicking on here, it is essentially starting the provisioning process. Now, this is injecting a first creating a core Joomla 2.5 instance, and then it is injecting in the cloud-based template and all of the associated sample data. So let's say 2.5 came out with a new release, new short-term release, and this will actually consistently launch the most recent version and inject the component into the most recent version. So you don't need to go and reconfigure your packages every single time. Of course, you've got to make sure it's compatible with the most recent version, but that's it. So this one's going to take a little bit longer. There it goes, about 15 seconds or so, which is still pretty good considering the cloud-based template. That's all of the images, everything, all put together. So go ahead and go back to inbox, and we'll check that site out. Now, this template, this email template's also customizable. Of course, we realize that white labeling this to a certain extent is necessary. So it will be possible to make it so, of course, it's launched on our platform. It's going to have something to do with cloudaccess.net, but we realize that some of you may not want your clients to see blatantly that it is, that the site is being launched on a different provider. So So basically, you will be able to make this just say your own stuff. We will remove the email or the template portion out of the top of it. So anyways, let's go ahead and check that out. Take a look, and as you can see, this is a fully configured template. It's got the sample data. It's even got a series of modules and plugins and basically everything associated with a fully built site. So you can launch basically any site you want. I don't know the full size of this site once it's provisioned, but I want to say that it's probably a third larger or twice as large than a core Joomla application because of all the different other images that are in it and stuff. So we're talking about pretty quick to launch a fully configured site. We went through some painstaking processes to try to make it as fast as possible, and so let's move on here. Basically, at this point, we've gone through and launched both a core Joomla and a site with sample data inside of it, fully configured. Let's go into the Cloud Control Panel and show you kind of, and we'll go into the back end of this Joomla 3-day site to show you what is, how it all gets put together. So let me go ahead and close some of these windows out, get cleaned up. All right, so we'll get to the Cloud Control Panel here. Everybody just saw that cute cat. I tried to put a cat in the slideshow, and Bernie made me take it out. I don't know about that. Okay, so let me log in here. All right, so if any of you haven't seen the insides of the Cloud Control Panel, here it is. This is when you log in. You see a list of your products, hosting products, free demos, domain names. First, let's get into the Joomla 3-day site. I've got the one-click login here. Before I go in, I'll just show you guys real quick, just a quick tour. You get into the application section. This is for this particular application. And, of course, we've got one-click logins from pretty much anywhere in the CCP. You can replicate your site just with a click of a button, manage snapshots, just a lot of cool features. I encourage you guys just to go in and take a look. We've got some really nifty stuff going through here as well. So coming up in the near future, take a look. But what we'll do here is we'll just log into the back end of the Joomla 3-day site. And let me get to the I've got the affiliate system, then demo API. So this is the interface where we go and configure the demo API. What we're going to do here is just kind of correlate what's in the back end of the Joomla site with what's in the actual API interface here, and I'll show you kind of the basic configuration of it. First, we want to go down to the component, and it's pretty straightforward. We have a username and password that you pull from here. Just plug it right in. That's basically the entirety of the configuration of the component. There are additional security measures that you can put in place. For example, here I can go and set it so it only launches from specific IP addresses. By default, it will not launch any of my sample data sets from anywhere that's not authenticating properly. But if you want additional security, you can do that. You can adjust the duration of the demos. So if you want to launch demos for 10 days or up to 99 days, if we have any requests, legitimate requests saying, we need it for 6 months or something, we will probably honor those. It's something where we really want to listen to the community, listen to what people, would like to use this for, and then accommodate. We'll just flip through here, click on statistics, and you can see from my API, not necessarily that particular module on this site, but from my all of the modules that I have on various sites, I have 437 successful launches. Failed, of course, 8 because I was doing some testing on here and trying to break things, but we've fortunately worked out some of those bugs. So. And that's actually this particular data set. You can look at the cloud-based data set, and let's see how many. I just loaded that one, so I'm probably going to have significantly less. Actually, it's showing the same thing. Maybe there are a few bugs still left, but anyways, we go to data sets, and here we can upload a new data set. says Joomla right now, of course, same thing is going to be for WordPress. This eventually will work for really any LAMP-based application, and it really is already built for that. We just, we're launching it with Joomla. That's our primary focus. That's where our hearts lie. So, so we wanted to do Joomla first. So we select Joomla. We would select the versions that this data set would work with. So basically, you have the option to select core, the core application, or your custom application. We use tags. These are actually more for the advanced users. When you get into the different SDKs that we have, PHP, Python, we of course have the components set up to make it easy for Joomla users to launch from their own sites. But I'll get into this a little bit more later. You can use this same API to launch from anything. It doesn't matter the language. It doesn't matter the platform. You can create an Android app or something, or an iPhone app that launches custom applications. And down here we have the sample data sets that I have listed in my account. Now you see that there's a public and a private. If you have, let's say, extension that's free, you may want anybody to use. It's just out there. Set it to public, and we don't really have this built yet, but when we have enough public data sets available, we'll be allowing people, when they go and launch from our platform, to just select from a drop-down. Even get some info on each data set. It's going to be really neat. So this is kind of gearing up for future plans to be able to launch basically all sorts of custom applications, and it'll be nifty. So as you can see here, I have the ability to update these. Let's say I've got a new package for Cloudbase. Maybe I made some changes to it. I just update it here, and it will just synchronize across our platform. And of course, since it injects into core Joomla, I don't need to worry about any of that. I just need to update the package, and that's it. Pretty straightforward. So here we're going to jump back to the back end of the Joomla 3-day site. And as you can see, for the thank you page, I can select a custom article to display if I don't want to display the one that we saw before. You can change the email templates. You can even put a CAPTCHA in if you have some spam problems, although we really haven't seen that yet. So this is just the activation portion, getting it configured so you can launch from this particular site. Now let's jump into the modules and take a look and see what options we have there. So of course, go to the module manager, and as you can see, we have two modules that are it's the launch Cloudbase, and then the, if I can find it in here, try Joomla 3.3. So the one on the front end here, try Joomla 3.3, is set to launch just core Joomla applications. So let me go in there and show you what it's all about. Here we have some optional fields. If you want to get more information from your site visitors, you can select those. Here we actually display all of the packages, all of the data sets that are available in your account. So if I wanted to launch Cloudbase from there, instead I would just select that one, or do both, and hit save. And we'll go ahead and refresh. And it looks like I didn't do that right. So anyways, here's your list of data sets that are available. You select the data set that you want to display on this particular page, and you save it, and it will show you basically another field that pops up allowing you to select between data sets. If you only have one data set available for the module, it will only display the version field, not the data set field. Basically just kind of limiting the amount of things that the site visitor needs to select in order to get through the process of getting to the site. And that's basically it. You get the module subtitle. You can adjust what is displayed in these fields. I've got some caching issues on this site, so I don't want to go modify this stuff, and it's not going to show up just yet. I need to go and do some cache clearing. I don't really feel like doing that, so we'll just skip across that. That is the basics of this module. Right now I've got this one set to public, of course. That's going to display on the front end of our Joomla 3-day site. If I go to the launch Cloudbase, module here, it is going to show you that it's set to registered. So you can control, and of course, with using Joomla ACL, you've got control over where things show up and what's available to which login users. I know a lot of developers have a subscription system, and that's kind of what we tried to cater to. So that's basically it. As you can see, it is really simple to set up. And so let's just skip through to the next part here. What we're going to do is talk about the API, the possibilities, what people are going to use this for. With extension template developers, which is what we primarily built this for, we wanted to cater to their needs first here, because they're the ones that are mainly going to want to be able to launch custom applications from their own sites. And first things first, you can control what is displayed where using the core Joomla ACL. Of course, the actual API is much more flexible than that. You've got different SDKs to use it however you want. But with just the component and module that we built to get everybody started, you can use that and control what you're launching and where you're launching it from. Now, another main reason why we wanted to do this is we see every day here at CloudAccess.net people calling us and having us install quick start packages or installing their extensions, because it is not plug and play. Downloading something, having to install it, in some cases, they have to go into the database and import SQL files. It's not something that we would think of that newbies can handle. Case in point, again, every day our support team is helping people with this stuff, and we wanted to make it more instant access for the template or component that they have purchased. And so this will actually, in turn, kind of help our support team in getting people, building faster. And the third item here, essentially, it is more secure to a certain extent, because when I say secure, I mean your packages, template and extension developer packages, are not changing hands. If somebody launches from your site, they would have to really go and grab all the files and put together the package again in order to redistribute it. So when using this, it's less likely that they're going to pass your extension on to a friend, and then all of a sudden that's one less sale that you've got. So it's useful in that, and this is kind of just an afterthought. We're thinking, hey, this really does make sense in this from this reference too. So pretty nifty. We'll go to the next slide here. For web developers, you're going to want to be able to provision sites into your own account. Right now, it's configured as we just looked at it, the examples that I showed. It was provisioning into separate accounts. These people, when the Mailinator email address that I set up, created a brand new account at CloudAccess.net, separate from my account, being the person using the API. And so you can make it so it provisions into your own account, so you end up owning or having that site. Of course, if they launch from your site and you're a developer, you're going to want control over that site, so you actually get the development leads. You can launch pre-branded sites. I know a lot of developers will put a certain amount of branding into the back end and front end of Joomla, and this essentially skips that step. It makes it so you really only have to do it once. And from there, it just you can just have people provision those sample data sets. Maybe it's just as simple as putting your contact information as a module in the back end of Joomla. Or it could be full-fledged, putting your logos everywhere. And the third item here is the client freedom. You don't want to stop your clients from following through with any ideas that they have. If you have a client that wants to go try a new site, they're probably familiar with Joomla enough to go and create a couple menu items, put some content in. This allows them to go and get their ideas out, and then of course come back to you for development reasons. When they need that. The third case example here is just everybody else. Everybody can put a demo launcher on their site, and quite simply, it will make you money. We have affiliates that make, I don't want to throw any big numbers out there, but we have some affiliates that do very well on our platform. And the reason being is our affiliate system is a recurring revenue stream. The amount that you make just consistently goes up, whereas other affiliate programs, they pay out, for the most part, they pay out a lump sum, and then that's all you make the entire time. So this is a great, revenue generator, and it is, again, easy to set up. Makes it so you have the ability to just generate revenue without really lifting a finger after the initial configuration of it. And one last thing I wanted to put in here is just show you the GitHub repo. Let me get that minimized too. Here you can see we've got the Joomla SDK. It goes through. You can look at the component. Download it here. Of course, there's a link directly from our knowledge base article. I'll pull that up as well. But we have already examples for PHP SDK, Python SDK. We've got some pretty comprehensive documentation. So feel free to go through this and take a look. We'd love to see all of the great ideas that everybody has in terms of using this. That's the cool things about APIs, is there's uses that we may not even be thinking of at this point. We also have a knowledge-based article put together which just shows you the basic configuration. Of course, at this point we're only taking on a limited amount of testers, but the date that we're shooting for is actually the 1st of September for full launch of this, and people will be able to just provision sites at their leisure. So yeah, from there, that's basically all I got. Next slide here. Thank you very much, and we'll take any questions and comments you guys have. Bernie, you there? Maybe we could both be on the line.
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool.
I think, yeah. So let's do one thing quickly here. Let's cruise back to the CCP.
Okay.
And just kind of show everyone that full view. Minimize that screen again so we can see, kind of see the entire configuration.
So we've got some questions in the chat for you guys.
Yeah, let's hear them.
Yeah,
so, does this work only on Cloud Access, or can it be implemented on someone else's own hosting?
This is very deeply integrated into our platform, which is, entirely custom. So, unfortunately, no. This is something that we only have. It doesn't provision to other servers now. It would be difficult to do so.
Okay.
Yeah, and just to give everybody an idea, we've been working on this for a long time. It's likely that some of the listeners have already heard about this, even as far back as a year ago. And the reason being is something like this is the way that we built it is going to be very scalable. Again, it's going to be with, going to work with many different applications, many different varieties of customizations. And also, if an application is updated, it doesn't matter because it's actually injecting the package after the fact. So it's actually, there's a lot of moving parts behind it, and to make it as scalable and as easy to use as possible. So, so the answer is no. We wouldn't be able to provision it onto other servers, unfortunately.
Okay, so a follow-up question. Will clients be able to tell that it's Cloud Access rather than a private system that may just happen to run on Cloud Access?
Great question. We realize that is a primary request. And we are doing our best to make it not necessarily, full white labeled, but, make it as transparent so they don't see our systems as much as possible. Probably the most transparent way of doing it would be to have the sites provisioned into your own account, and then basically what we call the welcome email. It's the email that the site visitor that launched a demo from your site, they receive an email saying, here's your login information. They don't need to get login details or receive login details for our Cloud Control Panel. Essentially, that email, you can customize it to just say, here's the login information from your demo. Thank you for choosing XYZ company. And so at that point, the only way that I'm trying to think of any ways they would see that it's cloudaccess.net. One way that they would, as it is right now, is this subdomain right there. But of course, we are already in the process of making it so you can choose alternate subdomains. So, and the terms of service currently is pointed to us. You can point the terms of service to your own, but we don't have that option available yet to our beta testers because there are some, of course, legal ramifications. We need to make sure that certain things are written into their terms of service. So the answer is definitely yes. We are working towards making it as transparent as possible to the end user because we realize that is a primary concern.
Okay. What do you know so far about the availability of alternative subdomains? Will that be available when it launches?
I believe so. We're talking 2 weeks. I'd hate to say that anything's going to hold it up, but you never know. I think that a reasonable amount of time would be a week for us to get that in place. I think that we probably would want a week for our beta testers to play around with it, and then so yeah, I think it will be available at that time.
Great. Do we have any more questions from the audience? Okay, so one final question from me. Looking long term, looking perhaps 6 months or a year into the future, what are your goals for this platform?
Good question. Yeah, I think that part of it is just to provide. One of my main the pitfalls of Joomla and any other application is the setup time. We have a lot of people, this is my main concern, we see new clients coming to our platform all the time that know nothing about building websites. And I see this as the emerging market. It's not emerging, it's there. We've got competitors like Wix and Squarespace that are advertising easy-to-use site builder tools. And we all know that Joomla is infinitely better. But making it infinitely easier, or at least on par with those other ones, is something that we're concerned with. And giving them a turnkey solution is essential. So telling them that they have to go find a template, which is the first step, if they're not going to use Protostar, and having them go and set that up and install it, set it up, and in a lot of cases they install it and they realize that it doesn't look anything like the demo because they have to install the Quick Start package, and then they come back to us, and we, of course, part of our service, we get the Quick Start packages all installed for them, and then they finally, after maybe a couple days, get to the point where they can actually start building. That whole step, that process, we would like to skip, and we think that people will, in general, use the Joomla application more. It's making it easier to use, and the more, I guess, instant gratification of having a site that's pre-configured. So that's one side of it. The other side of it is when you go onto our platform, after we have a series of sample data sets that are set to public, people are going to be able to just go and launch a Joomla application that is, already configured a certain way. Now I know that there are some conflicting views on whether or not we should be launching sample data sets that are separate from what comes with core Joomla, and I understand the concerns there. But I do think that the main goal for us is to make it as easy as possible for our clients to get from A to B, to get their site fully configured, where it's up and running, and they're happy campers. So we want to work towards that. So pretty soon you're going to see the ability for clients to just go and launch a pre-configured site, maybe even, if it's a pizza place, maybe even launching a site that is already, somewhat set up for pizza places. And of course, since we're launching core Joomla and then injecting the sample data set, we don't have to worry about keeping up on these sites, updating them, where they're provisioning from. It's all automatic and easy for us to administrate, which in turn makes it better for our clients because there's going to be more options. Hopefully that answers your question.
So I guess, to use a buzzword, it's about onboarding, making it much easier to get up and running with Joomla.
Exactly. Yep. You got it.
Well, thank you very much indeed, guys. It looks like a really interesting tool.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just to let everybody know, Bernie wanted me to mention the webinars. Let's see here. Let me get that page up and running here since I still have the screen. Bernie, you want to go ahead about this webinar on September 1st?
Sure, yeah. We're launching, of course, on September 1st for everyone. If you want to be part of our beta testing, you can send us a message at webinars@cloudaccess.net. But this webinar is September 1st, which is a Monday at 11 a.m. And we're going, that's Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to give a very similar presentation to today, but we're also going to show you how to activate your affiliate account and enable the demo API and really build it from the ground up. That'll be September 1st. So please come back and attend. And Steve and OS Training, thank you guys so much for doing this.
Yeah,
you're welcome, guys. It was a lot of fun. So thanks for attending. Jonathan and Bernie, thanks again.
All right, take care, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.